First day of shop ownership means I get to putty wall holes and sand, which I hate this kind of work because it's like prep, which the whole reason I use the paint that I use is because I'm not a big prepper. So we're just prepping these walls. We're gonna touch them up. Not worried about them being perfect because they're pretty bad and they're gonna be covered, but just give them a lick and a promise so that way we can get it all moved in here. Really clean windows will help sell in a shop. I've already scrubbed these with a big long scrub brush, and now I'm gonna hose them down, scrub them again, and then clean them with some heavy duty window cleaner and a squeegee. Also on our to-do list, maybe not this week, is we've got to get this paintbrush out here. We've got to wire brush this and repaint all these window sills.
Jamie's been having a battle with spiders all day that have been in these windowsills, especially on the outside. There were tons of mosquitoes in the webs and they were just dark and black and dirty looking. And I think she's about got these windows real nice and shiny clean.
They are as clean as they're going to get. Let's just put it that way. I have scrubbed them, I have squeegeed them, I have steel wooled them. They're clean. And it's amazing how much brighter it is in here without that film on there. We thought that we were just gonna do a little bit of touch up, but turns out our paint isn't an exact match, so we're repainting all the walls. At least they'll be nice and fresh. Bev says they all look good enough.
It's all gonna get covered up with stuff in front of it anyway.
But I will know.
Sometimes you have a great idea and then you build something way too big to fit in the space you have. So we are going back to the drawing board. I've got another old door here from the Clifton house that we salvaged about 3 years ago. And then these are old porch supports that have been cut down to the right height. They were pretty broken up and beat up. They were being used to support an old shed. I'm gonna go ahead and use this salvage to make the table for our sales counter at the shop. And we'll redo this top. Last time we did stencils and did a resin pour in there to cover up the stenciling. And I think this time I'm just gonna go over it with an acrylic sheet. But I'm gonna get to this real quick. I'm gonna just kind of blow through the steps, put a skirt around it, attach these with some hanger bolts, and we'll be good to go. So the issue with the other door is it was too deep, it hid the fireplace that it's gonna be by, and it was too long. So I'm gonna cut this down as far as I can, and instead of skirting it around the outside edge, I'll put that skirt up underneath, and that'll be what holds the table legs on. I'm using a special countersink bit to just run this through so that my screw doesn't split the wood. Now I'm just going to smooth off some of this really rough edge because this is just rough sawn lumber, and we'll be ready to seal it. I think we're just going to leave that natural wood, may do a dry brush on it. I'm just about back to where I was with the other table, minus the stenciling, but I'm going to go ahead and attach these legs. The table is now narrow enough, it'll fit through most doors. So I'm going to put these legs on. I'll put a big brace across right here and put a couple of hanger bolts in through here that are 15/16. I decided not to use the hanger bolts. I'm getting plenty of strength out of some 2-inch screws that I'm putting in. So I'm just gonna put this support here and then screw into it from this side. It should be plenty strong and very durable. Oh, it's much heavier with these legs on it. All right. It's gonna be tall, but it's designed to have bar stools so you can sit up underneath it. Left the 63 house number on that from where we took it from. And we're gonna stencil the JRV wildflower in all of these inserts.
In an effort to create the same look that we had before we realized it was too big, we are using the wildflower stencil and we're coming down into the insets of the door and we're gonna be stenciling it. Then we'll put a piece of plexiglass on top, that way it'll be durable enough for a counter and flush, so that way we can put our cash box and our POS system right here.
It's kind of curled because it doesn't quite fit down in this inset, so Jamie's gonna hold it still for me. And we're using DIY White Swan is the color, naturally. So we're gonna show you this one, and then we'll probably do them and we'll show you what they look like all at the end. Just gonna offload my brush a little.
Jeff's using the new JRV stencil brushes that will be available to order the end of the month.
All right, let's see how I did, see if we need a lot of distressing. I think we're good.
All right, so I'm taking a break real quick from window cleaning to distress these. I'm just very lightly going over them to just age them a little bit and take care of the imperfections.
I got Sweet Pickins top coat. I'm just gonna use it to seal this wood. It'll deepen the color of it a little bit, not a whole lot, and give us a nice matte finish on here. I'm using a Wooster foam brush to apply it. You can use any brush. We just like these. We find that they don't leave many brush strokes. And on this application where it's raw wood, it's probably not gonna matter that much, but it's what we have on hand. I'll probably do at least 3 coats. I want it on here nice and thick. It's gonna be the sales counter. Who knows what's gonna get spilled on it or how often it'll need to be wiped down, so we want it to be really durable.
We have 4 coats of sealer on this. Once it's dry completely, I'll take some fine sanding paper and just go over it, make sure there's no splinters. And then we also got the acrylic, so we're gonna show you how that looks on top of this. And dun 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 dun, we found some parts and we're gonna make a chalkboard and we'll show you how.
So this is 1/8 inch, just a clear acrylic sheet.
So Zeb picked this up, actually I should say Zeb's mom picked this up for us in Salt Lake. It's acrylic sheet that we picked up at a local supplier. We'll drop that link below. It was, how much was that, Zeb?
It was $44 for this, and they cut it to size for me too. Like I just ordered it up and they cut it and everything.
I call that a win. Much less expensive and quicker than the resin situation, as deep as these holes are. So this will save us some time.
Okay, so the backer is peeled off. I'm just taking a drill and making a pilot hole so it doesn't crack it. Then I'm gonna take a little bit bigger bit and recess the top of that. So my screw has somewhere to sit down in. The leg on this little bed is broken and they don't make mattresses this size anymore, so chalkboard it is.
So Zeb's adding some French cleats to the back of this. It's gonna be pretty heavy. Plus, we're not sure exactly where all the studs are. We ordered these on Amazon. We'll drop the link below.
Hopefully it's mostly level. It's hard to tell because it's not got really any flat surface except for right here in the center. I know how I can check it for level. If the floor is level.
It's off, it's not level. It's lower on this right side.
55 and 5/8. Yep.
Yeah, you can go this side.
How's that look now? I can't tell, I'm too close.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's the little
These are what you're going off from?
Yeah.
Alright.
I've got my Palm Pro and my little black dress. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the edge of this. I'm just gonna go neatly around the edge here. I'm not taping that off.
Careful not to fling any on those freshly painted walls.
I know, I just painted those walls. I think your mom, since she helped paint them, would probably not be happy with me.
She'd probably get over it with time and therapy.
Yeah, she's loved me for a lot of years. Okay, so this Palm Pro is great for stuff like this. It's angled, so it's good for cutting. It's got a nice flat edge. You can pick it up at JamiRayVintage.com along with the little black dress. So I'm not going to be doing any chalk art today. I'm just going to go season it using the sideways part of my chalk and get it ready for chalk art when we open. I'm just wiping off the excess here. That way it's just like a nice grayed out chalkboard and it will be ready. No sealing necessary. And we're ready for some chalk art.
2 days into shop renovation, I guess we could call it.
We're giving a shop refresh. We've got the walls almost all the way painted as well. Zeb's editing this video. I'm gonna finish the back room and the hallway. The windows are all clean. We've got our counter and our chalkboard, so we're well on our way. Tomorrow we're gonna work on our sign and our fixture, so make sure you hit that notifications and subscribe button so you can follow along with us while we set up the Jami Ray Vintage Lehigh store. To get the stencils and the paint that we used today, be sure to go to JamiRayVintage.com. Share this video with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Hit the subscribe button.